Virtual reality is fully immersive secondary world or life or environment. Augmented reality is a blend of what you're seeing in real life mixed with some of that. So augmented reality is more mixed reality.
Hi, I'm Karen Wang. I'm the industrial designer here at Hatchdual.
Hi, I'm John Tai. I am the principal and co-founder here at Hatchdual. So we'll be taking a look at digital secondary worlds like the metaverse and even blockchain technology slightly. The distinction between metaverse and blockchain metaverse 3.0, like those things are kind of two separate items, but if you want to just think of like the virtual world itself, yeah, like you can just do a lot of things that you can't do in real life, like gaming and things like that. The actual blockchain part of it, verified transactions, currency tokens and all that, that's actually what makes it interesting, because if you're actually purchasing real estate online through the metaverse, it actually holds real monetary value here in the real world. Okay, so they're using it for digital storage of NFTs. If you buy the Delorean from Back to the Future, you can store it in your metaverse house that you paid for in digital real estate. If everything is now done on the blockchain, if everything is done on like a secondary life, like just the way transactions are done are going to be completely different too. I think things will be more direct. Looking at TV, I'm using this as an example. TV, you would have to like look at the channel guide or like go to that channel where it's like scrolling. I'm dating myself, but it's showing like all, you know, on channel 7 it's this show, on this, and then on this channel it's this show. Now you just go direct and stream whatever you want, and I feel like the Metaverse Web 3.0, whatever you want to call it, that concept in itself of people being able to just create whatever the worlds they want, avatars they want, products that they want, and then go direct to it, like it leaves the way we do business on the internet right now behind.
I think virtual reality or augmented reality will definitely improve the situation of not able to see that person in person, and able to bring people from all different culture and area together to work under the same concept and culture. And that's what's important, that John and I are sitting next to each other at this point, and I actually feel all of his emotion and be able to communicate with him through not only voice and looking at his, you know, whole body instead of just on the screen, just chest up, right? I think that's something really important for, especially during the pandemic era where virtual meeting becomes something that's so common. How do we actually use VR or AR to improve the meeting quality or improve the human communication, basically enhance how social can happen, change the social pattern at this point?
Who's to say, even right now, who's to say that we're not in a simulation right now? And I don't want to get into that, but like, I mean, if you think about it, when it gets that advanced or when we have chips in our head, make that experience pretty seamless. Like the lines between reality and real life will be so blurred. Well, it's like a second consciousness to begin with, right?
It will not exist physically. I would say it will be something that everyone will think it's normal to not have anything on their body, but through some invisible portal.
What you're feeling and thinking and experiencing in your brain at that point, like there's no like distinction between reality and real life. Like you could probably program a life filter where everything looks like it's like cyberpunk if you wanted at that point, and you could like see everyone as beautiful. You know, like it's crazy to think about like what could happen. Dating could probably change too. Like you get catfished in like real life, just like walking around.
Well, it's hard to imagine if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but
yeah.
I'm sure with technology evolving, solution will come up, right?
Yeah.
How to still maintain the order of the world.
Future opportunities for VR would be probably along the lines of communication. How do you connect further with other players for games, if it's in gaming, or coworkers for work, if it's for work, or you know, just feeling like you're talking to a real family member right then and there.
I feel like it will be a really nice tool for learning. Some of the education system already implemented for medical education to really train the, you know, future doctors or nurses to know which medical terms for human body and to really help them see beyond 2D teaching resource, whether it's book or online resources that only shows you a flat image of what's this, what's that, right? I do see a huge opportunity there to use this VR or AR technology to let people being able to touch or feel in a 3D sense of how to learn something. In medical cases, how would them actually treat an accident, right? First time when they actually get into see blood comes out, those things are something that unless you actually bring someone in that situation, they will never know. VR, AR can actually bring all the scenario into real life and let people know what they can do, what they can react to. I think that's very important to, you know, create impossible scenario that can happen in front of you, but actually have you experience all that and learn how to deal with the situations. That's what I see really powerful.
I think things that like for training, for simulation, for instance, for like police or, you know, military applications of like training becomes more real at that point, and you can probably run simulations to very accurate degree, so you can get like those people trained a lot better because of this technology. I think there's a lot of ethics things involved in the digital space that hasn't been really figured out or regulated yet. Like making sure someone is a real person, or, you know, not a criminal, or harassing, like all that stuff hasn't been figured out. So I think probably there'll be a whole digital sector of regulations, like regulatory people overseeing all that stuff when it becomes, you know, more real and new problems arise because of it.
It's terrifying to think about, but I'm sure just as what everyone has not think of, there's gonna be a phone that has a full screen that you can touch instead of having buttons. It's gonna be some transaction like that that eventually will be a solution figured out, and everyone will be used to that situation when it's the time for that technology to be matured enough to bring to majority of the people. I'm sure there will be rules set up at that time. Definitely not having it mess up the real world.
Yeah, I think the real world will degrade though. The better the digital world gets, the more mental health and mental stability of how things should be becomes too idealistic, because it's like if someone can be not fat, pretty, whatever, I'm using really like, but like if they can be that in the digital world and feel all the good things that come with it, then why should they even participate in the real world? And I think that those are the huge problems. There's like that movie with Bruce Willis where him and his wife, they're just in their rooms, like when they have these robotic avatars that walk around, and I think that's a huge problem that can exist later on. Is I think a lot of these people are the gamers and things, like they live their life like in that digital world, and it becomes the whole player one scenario.
I don't like that.
Yeah, too much dopamine being produced by non-physical action, and then you're gonna just live that life. Yeah.
It's a whole ethic debating thing. Thanks for watching our video, and don't forget to subscribe and hit like. Until then,
let's hatch awesome.